Welcome to Costa Rica, the tiny country that's big on adventure, where you won't find massive resorts and shopping malls, but you will find over 400 waterfalls. You'll find volcanoes, caves, and stunning beaches here too, so if you're into exploring, this country's definitely for you. This is Explorcation, and we're Jamie and Skylar, and recently we spent 8 days road tripping through Costa Rica. In this episode, we'll be hiking up a mountain in the pouring rain, jumping off of a waterfall,
You want to do it.
Eating lunch in a cave, driving on one of the country's most dangerous roads, and doing a new thrill-seeking activity for the very first time.
Like, how freaking cool is that?
Along the way, we'll show you some amazing Costa Rican food, our breathtaking high-rise AirBNB, some San Jose nightlife, and our new Costa Rican friend. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride because this Costa Rica adventure starts now. Good morning! Here is our view from our little rental up here. The birds are so active. And while we could have easily spent the day relaxing at our mountain AirBNB, we had things to do and places to be. And those places would lead us down some more narrow and bumpy but absolutely beautiful roads to the meeting spot for our big adventure of the day. Another road that you just have to go very slowly on. And very thankful to have a four-wheel drive.
I do wish it sat a little higher because we have bottomed out a little bit.
And while it wasn't perfect, our little RAV4 always got us to where we needed to be, including the office for Pacific Journeys Tour Company. Now, it's not too often that we book with tour companies for our adventures, but since the spot that we so badly wanted to visit was located on private land, we'd have to go there with guides. But thankfully, our guides, Antonio and Priscilla, turned out to be fantastic. After checking in at the office, we had a short drive down another mountain road to where we'd park and begin our hike into the forest. We got our parking spot for the day right by this bus. I think we're gonna start hiking. The hike started out quite steep, and in just a matter of minutes, we had some amazing views. Wow.
That's the ocean back there. It's a little cloudy.
Oh, okay, so water back there. But it just kind of looks like clouds right now.
As we continue on our hike up this trail, we do want to mention that this is the fourth and final episode of our Costa Rica road trip series. And if you want to see more Costa Rican hikes, waterfalls, beaches, and views, be sure to check out our other 3 episodes after this one. After several minutes of hiking on a mostly dirt trail, we reached our first section of stairs. Little did we know, we'd be climbing over 3,000 of these on our journey to the waterfalls. Thankfully, Antonio had all sorts of information to entertain us along the way, including some about the local tent-making bats.
It's because the bats, they fly and hanging to the bottom bend of the leaf. So kind of cut it on the edge. The leaf bends so they make a shelter for the sleeping there.
So we are gonna have lunch in the cave once we make it up here later today. And somebody on a horse brought up all the ingredients this morning, which seems pretty crazy that a horse can make it up such a steep mountain. Unfortunately, the cave and our lunch were still over 2,000 steps away.
You said when they bring kids on these trails, sometimes they try to count all 3,000 steps, but they always forget. I don't think I'd make it to 100.
We learned that these 3,000 plus stairs stretch over 3 kilometers and took over 2 years to build.
They eat that tree.
Apparently there's a sloth that sometimes hangs out in this area, but not seeing him now. Maybe when we come back.
Yeah. This is a water tree, but you have to know how to cut it right to get the water out of it.
Just to flip it.
After a brief but much welcome section of downhill climbing, we came across some of these beautiful red maraca plants, which interestingly can be used as shampoo for your hair.
We got some bamboo plumbing over here. They say you can drink this water. There's no farms around here, so the water is very clean. We brought water, but it's nice to know if we run out, we can refill our bottles here.
After cooling down with some refreshing mountain water, we continued to make our way up the trail, past more maracas and lots of bamboo.
That bamboo can grow in a day 20 centimeters per day.
Oh my gosh.
Just a short walk past all the bamboo, we reached a spot that we sure didn't expect to find on the side of a mountain.
Oh, this is the garden area? We just walked through this garden area. It's so unexpected to be up on this mountain and have such a gorgeous area with flowers and plants. And there's actually someone up here maintaining it. You can probably hear the weed whacker in the background.
And while we sure were happy to have such a beautiful place to rest, we were even happier when they brought out the snacks.
Oh yeah, so good.
better than our bananas at home.
Yeah, I'll probably eat a whole one.
They're very good.
After our banana snack, we took a tour of the gardens, where we learned a lot about some of the local Costa Rican plants. We even got to taste a few of the plants, one of which was particularly strange.
They say they taste like blue cheese.
Holy cow.
So this is a fruit that tastes like blue cheese, smells like blue cheese, and Skylar loves blue cheese. What do you think?
It tastes like blue cheese, huh?
It does.
It's
Fresh heart of palm.
the plant is called estococa. So this is pretty much the leaf. So when they are young, you can use this part and eat it like the heart of the palm.
Heart of
But if
palm?
you want to eat it, you can try.
Yeah.
In between our snacking, we got to learn a bit about some of the local wildlife too.
You just walk around you.
Oh my gosh.
See, they don't bite.
Oh my gosh, so Skylar has this no biting spider on him because he wants to.
So they're growing cilantro here, which is the stuff you find in the store.
but it's
And
actually
this is cilantro as well that grows naturally. A type of basil.
It smells really good. Is this the one that makes your tongue numb?
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. I don't like that feeling. This is a vanilla plant, and when it flowers, you have to pollinate it manually because they don't have the right bees in the area to pollinate it.
And also they use this to make the bags for import the coffee. They have to be in these bags. See how strong is this?
Really strong.
See?
one
So
string.
what they do, they get a lot and embrace it and make it big, strong roots.
Next, we got to learn about the cacao plant, which you may already know is used to make chocolate and should not be confused with this next plant, which sounds similar but is very different.
This is called cocaine
Cocaine?
tree.
Really?
See? They use it in Peru. They use it when they climb to the
leaves?
Machu Picchu because this makes you get better air and helps with the altitude. ¿Cómo es que llama esto? Basil? Oh, no.
What's it taste like?
Romero, tomillo.
Bitter.
Better? But this
Yeah.
is what you would chew if you were climbing Machu Picchu?
Yeah. It's gonna be bouncing off the wall.
The rest of the hike to the waterfalls was all pretty much a blur. Just kidding, we really didn't feel much effect from the coca leaf at all.
Moving on from the garden. Yeah, it's like we're in the clouds a bit. Yeah, gosh, it feels great.
Look now, it's so cloudy.
Yeah, he said normally you can see all the way to the ocean.
Yeah.
But today we've just got a nice cloud view. Going up again.
Up to the swimming hole, and then we'll go down to the cave.
This way we don't have the steps.
No steps. And you really feel that you're in the clouds now.
Through the cloud to get to the pools.
Nice place to take a break. Before we head up that way.
As we continued to hike upwards, the clouds only seemed to get thicker and the views were non-existent, but Antonio's endless knowledge of the land continued to keep us entertained along the way.
I looking for this because I peel it, boil it, and use for bait for fishing.
Really? What kind of fish eat that?
We have a freshwater fish. It's called machaca.
In the river?
Yeah, in the rivers.
Our rain luck has finally run out, but that's all right. We're gonna make it up here anyway. It does feel pretty good, and we're gonna get wet in the water anyway.
At least the rain has cooled us down even more.
At least we got the rain on this hike and not the one we did a couple days ago. That was up a even steeper mountain that was covered in clay. That clay would be so slippery right now. Whereas this trail, it's a lot of rocks, a lot of roots, so it does get a little slicker in the rain, but still pretty easy to navigate. This is why you should bring a dry bag even if you don't plan on swimming.
Yeah.
As the rains got harder, the trail seemed to only get steeper, but Antonio assured us that we were almost to the top.
We're getting pretty high now. I think we said the highest elevation that we'll get to today is around 3,000 feet.
1,000 meters.
1,000 meters? Yeah, it's around 3,000 feet.
We have reached the high point of the hike. We're gonna go down now towards the pools. I think we can hear a little bit of the water already. And the rain, I think, has stopped. This is very muddy though. You can hear the squishes.
The hardest work is over. Heading down to the pools.
We have made it to the water. Oh, it looks so nice.
Don't film me, because I'm probably gonna fall. She has much better balance than I do. Okay. Alright.
While Skylar's river crossing was far from graceful, he did make it across relatively dry. And after going down a few more stairs, we reached a beautiful blue swimming pool. And while a dip in that pool did sound amazing, we were even more excited for the next one.
This rock is so slippery.
Okay.
This part, especially here.
Oh my
So
goodness.
when we walk by the moss.
You walk on the moss.
Yeah, the moss here.
You want to
Not
walk on
there.
the moss.
Okay.
Like on the edge, this moss is dry, it's not too wet. You can jump from here to there.
So we left Skylar at the top of the waterfall. We're hiking down to the bottom so we can watch him jump from the top. I had no idea he'd be jumping from so many waterfalls on this trip, but I know that he loves it. So I'll go down to the bottom and video him.
Ooh, this is a big one. Ready? Oh, it's freezing. Holy cow.
Since Skylar's jump went off without a hitch and getting to the top of this falls seemed relatively safe, I decided I'd give this waterfall jump a try too.
Alright, Jamie is gonna jump.
I don't know if I want to do it anymore.
You wanna do it?
It didn't look as high.
Do you want me to count you down? 5, 4, 3.
I can't do it.
You can too.
No, I can't. I chickened out. I couldn't do it. I was too worried about my back.
But I probably should have been even more worried about walking on the rocks.
So over there.
Oh, you okay?
Yeah.
Thankfully, I was fine and so was our GoPro. And after another successful jump off the waterfall, Skylar was feeling pretty good too. The rest of the trek to the cave would involve a little more uphill hiking, but thankfully it was mostly down.
So this part of the trail is known as the Puma Trail, I guess. And they have actually seen pumas on it.
This is where the puma.
Sharpens its claws.
See?
Great. He's
Right there, yeah.
Oh, that's from a puma.
You can see more.
With the thought of a puma lurking somewhere on this trail, the thought of the waterfall jump no longer seemed quite so scary. Thankfully, we'd have another opportunity to get our adrenaline going just a short hike away at the next waterfall.
We are on to the repelling portion of this adventure.
Ready?
Yeah. It was probably going to be a little scary. But I'm excited for it. And I know Skylar is. So I think he's saying we're going to go over that. Oh my gosh. Are you nervous? No?
Yeah, helmet.
Yeah.
Indestructible.
Oh my gosh.
While I definitely felt far from indestructible, I followed Antonio and Skylar's lead to the top of the 90-foot waterfall.
We're going over that edge. Whew.
While Skylar and I both rock climb and had plenty of experience dangling off cliffs, the introduction of millions of gallons of rushing water made this activity a bit more terrifying.
Easy from here down, okay? Just walk a little bit, maintain your feet straight into the rock. Not your heel or your toe.
Okay.
Straight in the rock. Feel your body sitting in a harness, okay?
Okay.
And I slide a little bit. Walk. I slide a little bit. Walk. Okay? Now how you go down.
After receiving some great instructions from Antonio, Skylar was first up to rappel down the falls. And while he didn't seem to be at all scared for his personal safety, he was very afraid of dropping our GoPro.
Yeah, that's where the rock is really slippery.
Yeah, when you get off of this cloth, it's much, much slipperier. My main fear right now is dropping this GoPro.
I, on the other hand, was much more concerned about me falling than the GoPro.
Oh no, the blanket's ending. It's gonna get slick. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh. Yeah, it's slick.
Surprisingly, I think I was less nervous during the rappel than Skylar was. And while the transition off of the blanket was a little bit scary, I became pretty comfortable soon after.
So the trick is, you just take your time. You You do a little bit of slack and a little bit of foot moving.
Never rappelled before. This is our first time. I can't think of a much cooler place to do it for the first time. The main thing I think right now is just not getting startled and letting go of this GoPro. I definitely got a death grip on it right now. My hand is actually getting pretty sore.
So they are right, like the very top part, when you're just first getting over, is the hardest part. Like once you're fully in the harness using the system, it's much easier. Alright, so this green rope here means I'm getting to like a step area. So I might be hanging soon. Woo! Oh my gosh, that's so cool!
Wow, this is nuts. I love it though. So now, as you get further down it, when you're free hanging, you don't have to feed it through nearly as much. It does just kind of go down on its own. You just have to kind of guide it.
Now I'm just hanging with this waterfall in the background. Like, how freaking cool is that? Ah! I don't know if I'm supposed to turn or not, but I am. Alright, here we go, here we go.
And while even Skylar will admit that this rappel is a bit scary at first, the views of the falls and the canyon below make this unforgettable adventure well worth the extra $53.
If you ever decide to go rappelling and want to do it somewhere really cool for the first time, I would highly recommend this. It was awesome.
Yeah. And there's Skylar!
Glad you did it?
Yes, I would definitely recommend doing the rappelling option. That is so cool.
While the rappel down Diamante Falls sure did deliver on the excitement, our tour was far from over, as we'd still get to enjoy a fresh Costa Rican lunch in a cave before hiking all the way back to our starting point. Now, the thought of eating lunch in a cave may not seem too appealing to many, but this was definitely not your average cave, and we couldn't wait to see what was on the menu.
Yeah! That's a huge area under here.
We were quite impressed to find that this cave not only offers a fully functioning kitchen, but also several places to sleep for those who book an overnight tour in the cave. And while we only booked a day trip and wouldn't be spending the night in this cave, we'd still get to enjoy it for an hour or so before making the hike back down the trail. We took some time to explore around the cave as our lunch was being prepared, and we found that it also offers showers, restrooms, and all sorts of amazing views.
This is the view from the bathroom out here.
Before we knew it, our lunch was ready, which included these vegetarian organic tacos. Not only were they delicious, but we also learned that they were made with all locally sourced ingredients, some of which were actually grown in the garden on the property. While the fresh food was great, the highlight of our meal had to be these views, and we both agreed that this was surely one of the most beautiful spots that we've ever enjoyed a meal. As Antonio and Priscilla cleaned up after lunch, we took a few more minutes to soak up our tranquil surroundings before making our way out of the cave and back onto the 3-kilometer trail. We left the caves grateful for the experience, but wishing we would have had more time, and if we were to do it again, we'd definitely book the overnight stay.
That mist was pretty chilly, wasn't it?
Yeah. We'll warm up fast though on this hike.
Yeah, we sure will. My gosh, it was so nice hanging out in that cave behind the waterfall. How many places can you do that? Yeah. I'm sure other places, but
this is a very cool tour.
No places we've been to yet.
The hike back down the trail involved a little more rain, a lot more fog, and even more stairs, but it did have a few highlights, which included finding this huge Costa Rican centipede, our first toucan sighting, and chatting with the local howler monkeys.
What kind of monkey is that?
Hold them.
It's a howler?
Howler monkey.
Make it do it again. Doesn't respond to me.
On the hike back, we also got to drink some fresh mountain water from the bamboo pipe.
What do you think of that fresh mountain water? They'd probably charge you $3 for that in the grocery store.
Probably. As cool as it would be to hike this in full sun without the cloud coverage, I'm really enjoying being in this cloud. We just don't get this in Florida.
So allegedly the ocean is over there.
Still cloudy on the way down, but that's all right. We have enjoyed so much of this hike. We just have to come back and do it again on a clear day.
Yeah.
Getting down under the clouds again. It's a little bit clearer here. But gosh, we came down a lot of steps.
Gotta get back before sunset.
I know. The stairs are a bit muddier than on the way up. Gosh, these views are so good.
You can see the ocean right in there.
After a few more stairs and quite a bit of mud, we eventually made it back to civilization, where we hit the road in search of food and one more waterfall. While it may not look like it from a distance, according to CostaRica.org, this waterfall is Costa Rica's tallest. In fact, the largest of the Diamante waterfalls spans 600 feet in height and is located not far below the cave we were just at an hour or so earlier. With the sighting of Costa Rica's tallest falls checked off our list, the only things left to do were to grab dinner and get home before dark. Thankfully, Restaurante Mama Sandra was located just down the gravel road from Diamante Falls.
We stopped by this soda that was recommended by Priscilla. And Skylar has made a gato friend. Just keep petting me while you order and eat your food. Skylar trying to try my blackberry juice while this cat puts its tail in his chin.
And his claws in my leg.
Ooh!
The recommendation for Mama Sandra's turned out to be a great one, as my fresh blackberry juice was perfectly refreshing and our food was really good for the price.
Take a look at all of this food. I ended up with a fish casado, and Skylar went with some sort of chicken and a mushroom sauce, and we did nibble a little bit on the way home, and it is very good. And of course we stopped by the mini super, and Skylar got another bottle of wine.
Our 7th day in Costa Rica started off a little bittersweet, as we were excited for our drive to San Jose on Route 2, but reluctant to leave our little mountain AirBNB behind. While this AirBNB may have been simple, it had everything we wanted, including a comfortable lounger, a dining space for 2, a fridge, and a hot plate and toaster oven. It also had a bathroom with a walk-in shower, and up this flight of stairs it had a loft with a huge king-size bed. But most importantly, this AirBNB had great views from almost everywhere in the house, and at around $110 per night, it was a pretty amazing deal as well.
These flowers attracted the hummingbirds, so every morning we were able to watch the hummingbirds fly around these beautiful flowers.
But after 2 wonderful nights in this AirBNB, sadly, it was time for us to go, but not before another toucan sighting on our way out.
Adios, toucan.
So this was the hardest AirBNB to get to with the roads, but I think it's also the hardest for us to leave because it is just gorgeous up here and very peaceful and secluded. But it's time. We're heading to Dominical and then to San Jose. I'm not gonna miss having to be a passenger going down this road because I have not driven it. And I'm sure Skylar is not gonna miss having to drive up and down it.
It's not my favorite.
And it could be worse.
Yeah, you just gotta go so slow.
Yeah, at least these roads, there's no like concern that we're gonna fall off either side of it. We've definitely been on roads like that before.
True.
We did eventually make it back onto the highway and on our way to Dominical, but by then it had started to pour.
It's a little wet outside, so you're gonna have to deal with footage from the inside of the car right now. And I'm sure Costa Ricans are like, this is nothing because we are here at the end of rainy season. I do think some of the mountain roads are not passable during the rainy season when they've gotten a bit
decided to stop off and wash our car mats in the rain because our car mats were pretty dirty from all of our hiking. But we've got a nice view of this rocky area. Even though it's super cloudy and raining quite a bit, it's so cool to see.
It is.
Cleaning our shoes so our mats stay nice and clean as well. Alright, let's go find some breakfast. So we were hoping to go to this breakfast spot called Porque No. Apparently it is temporarily closed. I don't know how long it's been temporarily closed. So instead we are going to the brewery because it opens at 7 a.m. I guess they must do breakfast.
My type of brewery.
Right, so we'll find out though. I see a sign in there that says coffee vibes, so that would be awesome if they got some good coffee too.
We were excited to find that attached to Fuego Brewery is Fuego Coffee Roasting Company, which in addition to its coffee vibes, does offer actual coffee as well. And after placing our coffee orders, we made our way upstairs to find this beautiful pathway in the trees. And at the other end of that pathway, we found one of the most unique breweries we've ever seen, and the perfect spot to spend a rainy Friday morning. Skylar was excited to find that even at 9 in the morning, at this brewery, you can get a beer. But first, we'd have to drink our cappuccinos, which were strong, creamy, and tasted amazing with a little bit of local honey. Before Skylar finished his coffee, he already has ordered a flight because we are at a brewery. This is a Guanabana Ale, then we've got a Mango Pale Ale, we've got an Espresso Porter, which they use their own coffee beans, and lastly, he's got a double IPA here because he can't order a flight without an IPA. While Skylar was more than happy to drink all 4 of these beers, his favorite was the Espresso Porter made with Fuego's house-roasted coffee beans. And while Skylar enjoyed his beers, I enjoyed this beautifully presented fresh fruit while awaiting the rest of our breakfast. Our remaining food order wasn't too far behind and included the Eggs Benedict for Skylar and the avocado toast for me. And while this Eggs Benedict was far from the Eggs Benedicts we're accustomed to, it was really, really good. As you can probably see, my avocado toast was bright and colorful and tasted delicious. We both agreed that this wonderful meal in this beautiful tropical setting was the perfect way to cap off our 4 days in the Uvita and Dominical area, but we were excited to hit the road for our next Costa Rican adventure. Unfortunately, that road was still very wet and rainy, but at least we'd have over 6 hours to get to our San Jose AirBNB before dark.
Alright guys, it is about 11 a.m. and we are on the road to San Jose. And at the moment it actually isn't raining, which is great because as you can see, Jamie is driving and it is very hilly and very curvy because we are taking the Highway 2 route back to San Jose and then up on some of the highest roads in all of Costa Rica and through the area known as the Hill of Death. We're so glad we're going to get to experience it in the daylight because it is supposed to be very dangerous at night. Now because we were able to get our coffee, our breakfast, and our beers all in one stop, it saved a bunch of time and allowed us to get on the road really early. And since we have so much extra time to get to San Jose now, it should be a lot of fun, but maybe also a little bit scary. Hopefully we don't encounter too heavy a rain, so wish us luck.
After about a half hour on the road, we had made it to the city of San Isidro, where the elevation would begin climbing pretty quickly.
Jamie successfully made it through downtown San Isidro. It was a bit of an adventure. It's a very bustling city.
Yeah, it was a lot busier than I was expecting.
Soon we'll be in the really high mountains.
As we make our way further up into the Costa Rica mountains, we want to thank you for coming along with us on our Costa Rica adventures. And if you've enjoyed this series and don't want to miss any of our future travel and adventure content, be sure to subscribe to our channel and turn the notifications on.
So we just keep going up and up, but we have noticed a change in the vegetation. We haven't been seeing as many palms and ferns and stuff. It's just a much less tropical landscape. Definitely have entered a different climate zone. It does look like we're going to continue to keep going upwards for a while. Thankfully, the road conditions are still really good, and we are in no hurry to get to San Jose. We've been driving in the mountains probably for about an hour so far, and I think we are approaching a town called Division. We should hopefully find a bar or a restaurant to stop off at, take a little break. So it was quite foggy for a while we were driving, but now it's pretty clear. But when you do pass through an area with a view downwards, you can see nothing but clouds below. So it actually seems like we're probably above a lot of the clouds right now.
Yeah, you're right. Oh my gosh, it's so much clearer up here.
So we did stop off at this soda a little over an hour into our drive, and it looks like we could have ordered lunch here. They had quite a bit to offer, but we're not that hungry, but we had to try an empanada and some of their fruit juice. So we're just waiting for it to be ready now. There's a lot of dogs here. Hi! There's one up there, one here, one there.
I know a whole bunch of people just came in here and ordered some food, and it smells really good, whatever she's cooking.
And somehow there is great service up here. Here we ordered a pineapple juice and a blackberry juice. And I can smell our empanadas already.
Now our empanadas did take a little while, but that's to be expected considering they were literally made from scratch. And while we had a feeling they'd be pretty good, we weren't expecting them to be this big.
So these two fresh juices and these two giant empanadas are only like $6 total. Carne empanadas, right? Made from scratch on top of a mountain in Costa Rica. What you think?
Okay, so those empanadas were hands down the best we have ever had.
And the biggest.
Yeah, so we watched her like get whatever dough it was, smash it down, put the meat inside, then put the top over it and fry it. Freshest, made to order empanadas. Highly recommend.
And they were what, $1.50 a piece?
Oh my gosh, yeah, $1.50 a piece, somewhere around there, close to that. Yeah, I think everything we ordered, the two empanadas and the two drinks, we thought it's like $6 American.
Yeah, so if you want to find inexpensive food in Costa Rica, you just have to drive all the way up into the mountains.
Oh, but along this drive though, we have noticed there are sodas all along the way, different restaurants. Some of them would have really good views on a clearer day. So far, we would recommend this drive, but we still have half of it to go. So I think you're gonna take over now?
I am, and it is only not even 1 o'clock, so we still got 4 hours till sunset. We're good.
We got time. As we walked close to this dog, it just rolled over. Like, come and pet me, please. It actually
got more fur since he's a mountain dog.
Yeah, definitely furrier than most dogs we've seen on this trip.
Yeah,
but it is a lot cooler up here. Yeah,
it is.
It absolutely is.
Oh,
little
here
chills.
comes another one.
Hola. Oh my gosh.
Still going up.
As the road continued to climb upwards and signs of civilization grew less and less, I was glad to be back in the passenger seat, and Skylar was definitely happy to be driving.
All right, we're back on the road. Skylar is driving, but I just wanted to talk about how we ended up at that place. We thought we were gonna go to this other little town that I think Skylar might have mentioned earlier, but I think we just blew past it without even realizing that we drove through a town.
It's very small.
Yeah, so then he just hopped on his phone and he used his Google Maps that he had downloaded prior to this trip, because up here we do not have the best reception. So if you do plan to drive anywhere around in the country, we would highly recommend downloading those Google Maps ahead of time. He was able to look on the road ahead and see if there was anything as far as a soda or a restaurant, and saw that that little place was rated like 4.7, because without that we definitely would have kept on driving. We actually initially drove past it and then turned around to go back to it.
still in the clouds. I know, Skylar, you just started driving, but what are your initial thoughts?
I love it.
He loves it. It's not really a surprise though, but we can totally understand why people recommend not driving it at night.
I would hate it in the dark.
Yeah.
Because there's no lights and it's constant, pretty sharp curves. Lots of steep hills.
And
The road itself is great though, so as long as you can see good, it's fun, but at night in fog, it would not be fun.
Along this highest section of Route 2, we did see several signs for rock slides, and we learned that it's not at all uncommon for sections of this road to be completely closed due to rock slides following a big storm.
So we do think we've reached the high point on this drive. I think we're going down in elevation, but it has started to rain.
We're thinking we're in like a national park maybe right now because we haven't seen a house for miles.
We do keep seeing signs to watch out for these animals that cross over the road here. I'm not even sure what kind of animals they are.
We're really hoping we see one.
Yeah.
We later learned that the animal on the sign is known as a Baird's tapir, which is the largest native land mammal in Central America. Sadly, we never did see one, but if you ever have, let us know when and where in the comments.
So I do think one of the reasons this road is so dangerous is just the way that people drive on it. There have been several places where people have been passing on double lines, and you know, if you don't slow down, you're probably going to hit them. So that is a little nerve-wracking, but we haven't come too close to anything like that. So the rain has picked up quite a bit on our drive here, but we're just taking it slow. And something we have been doing is, if there are people behind us on this road and we feel like we're holding them up, whenever we find like our pull-off area, we just get to the side and let everybody pass, so that way we can continue on our way and not feel pressured to go faster than we would like to.
After driving over an hour through national parkland and seeing almost no signs of civilization, it was a welcome sight to finally see some houses down in the valley below. And we knew that meant that before too long, we'd be checking into our high-rise AirBNB in San Jose. And after one more quick stop for fresh juice and a little more driving, we had finally reached San Jose and the AirBNB that I was so excited for.
So there was another reason we wanted to make sure to get that drive done early today, and that is because Skylar saved the very best AirBNB for last. Now we'll show you more of it here shortly, but take a look at this. We are on the 27th floor of Urban Escalante, which according to Wikipedia is the 5th tallest building in Costa Rica.
Pretty sure the 4 taller ones are all right over there in downtown San Jose.
Now, in case you are wondering exactly what around $125 per night can get you for lodging in San Jose, we're going to show it to you. After spending some time relaxing, enjoying the amenities, and taking in the views from our AirBNB, it was time to hit the town on our last night in Costa Rica. After a week full of gorgeous beaches, big hikes, and bigger waterfalls, we gotta admit, we were exhausted, so our night on the town in San Jose ended well before midnight. But we did find time to grab a good meal at the Jardín Lolita food court, which had a great selection of food and drink options, and was just a few blocks away from our AirBNB. And of course, Skylar couldn't end the night without enjoying a couple Costa Rican beers, while I saved just enough of my appetite for a delicious cup of ice cream. Our 8th and final day in Costa Rica began with some much-needed coffee, which we sure didn't have to go far to get.
Oh, that's very full. And they even give you a stir stick, and you don't even have to leave the apartment.
It's nice.
Yeah, you come up to the top floor here, and you can have a nice view, although today it's pretty cloudy.
The weather was a bit gloomy, but we didn't mind, as all we had to do on this day was fly back to Florida. We hope you enjoyed coming along with us on our 8 days in Costa Rica. But if you missed any of them or just want to see them again, you can do just that by clicking here right now. Thanks for watching!